There is news tonight on a topic that's been in the news a lot of late.
A recent study highlights a real concern for young athletes. We're talking about concussions.
It's become obviously a huge issue in football and sports in general.
To take action in hopes of protecting young players from concussions.
It is a controversy which has pitted some NFL stars against their teams. How to handle concussions.
Connection between repeated concussions and long-term degenerative brain disease.
Several NFL players have committed suicide in recent years, and brain-related injuries they sustained while playing have been blamed. It's impossible to know.
A risk we've been talking about a lot here lately, and that's concussions.
NHLer Derek Bugard was found dead in his Minnesota home Friday, just 28 years old. The cause of death unknown at this hour, but some believe it may be linked to the repeated brain trauma on the ice.
I think we're at the envelope. This game is bigger, stronger, and faster. The collisions are bigger, and there are more of them. Only now are we starting to see the effects of head trauma on our previous generations, the long-term effects.
The football world has been rocked this week by the sad death of a former star. The Super Bowl winning safety Dave Durson took his own life, convinced that the despair he faced was caused in part by the damage he suffered on the football field.
Sometimes you just feel tired, you feel weak, and when you feel weak, you feel like you want to just give up. But you gotta search within you, try to find that inner strength and just pull that shit out of you and get that motivation to not give up and not be a quitter, no matter how bad you want to just fall flat on your face.
Till the lights go out, till my legs give out, can't shut my mouth, till the smoke clears out, and my eyes are out. I'ma rip this shit till my bones color, till the roof comes on, till the lights go out, till my legs give out, can't shut my mouth, till the smoke clears out, and my eyes are out. I'ma rip this shit till my bones color. Till the lights go out, till my legs give out, can't shut my mouth, till the smoke clears out, and my eyes are out. I'ma rip this shit till my bones color, till the roof comes on, till the lights go out, till my legs give out, can't shut my mouth, till the smoke clears out, and my eyes are out. I'ma rip this shit till my bones color.
Some injuries last a few weeks, and others, like concussions, can last a lifetime. The hard hits in American football, soccer, ice hockey, and rugby have drawn criticism from parent groups, doctors, and professionals alike, each claiming the head injuries sustained are permanently damaging to their players. A concussion is a type of brain injury. They occur when an impact to the head causes the brain to bounce off the inside of the skull. Not surprisingly, the brain doesn't like being jostled. Doing so too often can really damage the tissues on the brain's surface. The impact of the brain into the inner walls of the skull can cause permanent damage, cell destruction, swelling, and even death. It's pretty serious, you guys. When an NFL football player makes a big hit, the brain keeps moving even though the body has stopped, not unlike a person in a car during a crash. The NFL is beginning to address concussion concerns by implementing new rules, fines, and even suspending some players who hit too hard.
Every year, over 100,000 concussions occur in all levels of football, and 60% of these are from head-to-head collisions. In an impact lasting just 15 milliseconds, a player's head, on average, experiences almost 100 Gs of force, and collisions on special teams can result in forces of up to 190 Gs. In the NFL, the average speed of a head-to-head impact, the velocity of both heads combined, is 20 miles per hour, with the struck player's head decelerating 14 miles per hour. According to studies done by Sports Science's chief medical advisor, Dr. Basil Aish, this 15 millisecond impact is equivalent to getting smashed in the head with a sledgehammer. In the last 10 years, the average number of days a concussed player is out has more than doubled, and even improved helmet technology is only able to reduce an 80 G impact to 40 Gs, still several times when an F-16 pilot experiences, and more than enough to cause a concussion or neck fracture. For Sports Science on ESPN, I'm John Brinkus.
Altogether, I've had 5 recorded concussions, all of which have happened here in college. I've been playing in contact sports my whole life, so can't really put an exact number on how many I've had, but like I said, most I've had recorded, medically recorded concussions would be 5.
Concussions, I've had 7 total documented concussions, but through my visits with the various neurologists that I've seen and things like that, going through this whole process, definitely many more than that, unfortunately, that went undocumented.
My first concussion happened here in college. It was a big home game, and I just remember I got hit in the side of the head so hard, and the next play I looked up and the guy in front of me, there was multiple of them, it wasn't just one guy standing there. I was having a little double vision, and that's when I knew something was wrong.
I was a sophomore in high school, and it was my first varsity game. I was playing corner and came down to make a tackle. I remember seeing the number on the kid's jersey, and I guess I went to make the hit, and I went out on the sideline, and I lost probably, I think it was about 3 minutes of memory. Yeah, I just don't remember anything. I was unconscious for about 1.5 minutes laying on the sideline.
And I ended up finishing out the game, and it wasn't until after the game that I actually found out it was a concussion, and it was a pretty serious one.
It was a pretty scary experience when you, for the first time in my life, not being able to remember anything, and just laying there. And so that was my first concussion.
It can range from memory loss, both retrograde and post-grade amnesia, dizziness, disorientation, ringing of the ears, light sensitivity, noise sensitivity, not feeling right, sleep disturbances, so there's numerous concussion symptoms that result as a head injury.
Anytime I've got a concussion, the reason I've known is because I've had problems with my vision. I'll get pressure in my eyes, as I mentioned before, double vision, hard sensitivity to light, things like that.
There's definitely some difference in my memory that I noticed.
Trouble seeing at night. If I'm driving my car, headlights will bother me coming towards me. Occasionally I'll get dizzy just kind of out of nowhere. Like I've got to sit down, kind of catch my breath, kind of level myself out a little bit. The reaction I had to not being able to play football anymore was pretty devastating. My doctors and I had talked about it. They left it up to me whether or not I wanted to keep playing, and I decided to keep playing. Something I wanted to do. Football is something I love, so I took the risk in my own hands. Ended up backfiring on me. I got another concussion, and at that point the doctors told me I was not allowed to play anymore.
After suffering the 2 concussions at the end of the season last year, the training staff here wouldn't allow me to come back without clearance from a neurologist. I saw 3 neurologists, none of them would clear me. So sitting in that room, my mom and dad, and looking at the neurologist and having her tell me that I was never going to be able to play football again, that was very tough. A lot of tears there. For me, really the most difficult part where I really lost and started to cry was when I came in and joined back with the team in the spring, and I walked out in front of the team during the spring list and stood there in front of my brothers out there, my family, and told them that I wasn't going to be able to be out there on the field with them anymore.
The only thing I wish I would have done differently to prolong my career would be taking time in between injuries or after I'd received a concussion.
I came back obviously way too soon. And I'm a competitive kid. I didn't know any better. And I'm a competitive kid. All football players are. And so the second you get the clearance and you're allowed to play, you go play. That's what you do. You go play. So I
kind of rushed myself back before I was ready. I wanted to get back with my teammates. I wanted to keep my starting spot, and due to that, I received more concussions. Each one more severe than the last. So, like I said, the only thing I wish I had done differently was take my time coming back and not really rush myself.
Once the diagnosis has been made that there's a concussion, usually the best treatment is going to be rest. Between 85 to 90% of concussion should resolve between 7 to 10 days. So past 10 days, you start looking at how long the recovery phase is.
It's a physical sport. There's always going to be risk of injury. There's always going to be serious brain injuries that happen. So I hope that one day concussions are a thing of the past, but I think it's going to be a very hard thing to cancel out completely.
I think you'll actually find that in the college setting, we've done a pretty good job of that over the last 10 years of handling concussions, much more on an individual basis and much more on the precautionary side than, say, the professional leagues have done. There's a lot more stories of the student athletes who've either had long-term effects of concussions where they haven't been able to class for 2 or 3 months, had to drop out of school, and in worst case scenario of even death of student athletes who have hidden concussions, gone back into a game, either that game or a subsequent game, and died as a result. So there's a lot more awareness of the both immediate detrimental effects, but also the long-term effects. I mean, a lot of the studies of these NFL players who are having the brain damage, personality changes, etc., has brought a lot of awareness that it's not just an immediate effect of a concussion; it's long-term if you don't take care of it properly. It's started to filter down into even the high school and lower age kids that what used to be considered a ding or a knock to the head, where you feel better after 15 minutes and going back in. It doesn't happen anymore. Once there's a suspected head trauma, generally that athlete's out for the rest of the game, and there's going to be an evaluation that's much more in depth than there ever used to be in the past.
Advice I can give the young kids that want to keep playing after they've had a concussion is don't at all. If you go in too early and you get hit again and you get another concussion, it only gets worse. And the time you sit out getting healthy is definitely worth being able to play back at your full capabilities again. Take the necessary time off before you decide to go back into the game. Every concussion is different. You know, time off can be weeks, time off can be months, time off can be a whole season. So,
you know, what's more important to you? You know, the next game, playing the next game, or the next practice, or the next play, or whatever the case may be, however soon you want to come back, or your future career or your future life, which is really more important.
Making the decision to discontinue playing football was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. The athlete part of me wants to say that, you know, I still shouldn't have done it, but looking into the future, I see that it's the right thing to do. You know, I have a lot of things to think about after college. You know, finding a career and, you know, being healthy enough to start a family and, you know, make sure my brain is around just as long as my body. So, and the way I was going with the amount of concussions that I had, that really wasn't going to be my future. So I think stepping away was definitely the right thing for me to do.
Is not something
Thank you.